What's up, my people? What's up? What's up? Nice to see everybody. Thank you for joining us. I have C-Man over here to my side. Thanks for everyone joining. C-Man, thank you for hanging out with us.
Hey guys, how's everyone? I hope everyone's doing well.
Well, let's see. I'm looking through. Albin will not be with us today. He is under the weather, so prayers out to my brother. Hopefully, I'm sure he's watching right now, and hopefully he gets to be feeling better. But we're going to try to do our best to hold down the fort. Not tons and tons of topics, and I will quickly run through. I like to give out shouts to the people that watch us live because it's awesome. It's an honor to have people that tune in live to watch us. So, hey, Eddie, what's up, Skulls? Sohil, who is always watching us. Red and Miss Nookie's watching us. I know she's in there and she's not ghosted. K setup. Yeah, nice to see it. Albin is he's a little under the weather, but hopefully getting better. I'll try to get a. I didn't get an update this afternoon, but he was feeling a little bit rough and just wasn't up to being on with us today. But thoughts and prayers out to him. Mr. Paul's hanging with us, so it's good to see him. Elthros, what's up? What's up? Leon, always.
DJ's in the house.
Yeah, is DJ in there? All right. The beach. He won't be doing big screen, but that's cool. He's going to be joining us in the side chat, which is great. Trevor, rolling down the list, and you said Stuart. Stuart's hanging with us. Nice to see you, Stuart. Our official WWE and AEW expert. I'll give you that. He is expert in all of those things. Brian.
Who's not been feeling well.
Oh,
I
has he?
no, Stu
Oh,
had
oh,
been
that's right.
feeling.
I did see that.
So hope he feels better soon.
Good point. Good point. DJ. All right. Nice to see him. Set It Off is overhanging with us. So nice to see him. Nice, nice. So got a few people, and people will be rolling in here soon. We're just a few minutes late kicking off, but apologize about that. So good to see Stuart on the mend. Great to hear. So if you've not watched this show before, we try to cover the topics that you're not going to find on any other YouTube shows or topics because it is very YouTube isn't always favorable to some of our topics. So we try to dance around a lot of the topics and we try to dance around the subjects to give you the information and to help you to be able to stream better. Ah, look at who the smart butt has showed in. See, I corrected it. I, so he look at the handsomest guy in the group has showed up. So
Best
thanks
looking
for
guy on the yeah.
thank you for hanging up with his cats because he's a cat man. Nice to see you, smart
Hey,
ass. How you doing?
I'm
So now I
alive.
just now I just got to check the box saying it's not above 18, but then not a worry.
What's up, Mark?
Nothing much.
Not much. All right. Let's see. Tribalize is hanging with us. Who else? The honeybees hanging with us. So
See, I
good to have
figured if
everyone.
I came in really late, you might actually be done with the hellos by now.
I'm done. I'm done with them right now, except for the few people that straggling in. So, but yeah, we try to cover a lot of the topics that may impact your streaming, as well as some of the media that you're watching. So we'll cover some of the movies as well as some of the things that may impact your wallet. Sometimes, if you have questions, toss them over on the side, and hopefully one of me or one of the panel members will see that and say, "Dabs, answer that damn question," and we'll try to answer that question because we try to do our best. And if you want to be on the panel with us, the panel is always open to whoever wants to join it. So that is my I try to invite people, but people are shy. I mean, Mark used to be shy, but now that he has gotten so many date requests since he's come on the show,
Uh,
now he's willing to come on all the time because his inbox on Tinder is just blowing up because he posted, "Hey, I've been on Streaming Matters," and all of a sudden, he starts getting dates.
Mark's the man.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Man
used to
knows a
come
lot.
on a long time ago with the old team.
Oh God, yeah. We go back. We used to be when it was Cody Matters. We used to be able to. We had a lot of good there was a lot of developers that came on here, and we talked about a lot of stuff, but
Yep.
everybody got nervous because of, of course, because of letters, and tended to get away from being on it, which is cool. No, I understand. But again, people want to come on, share their knowledge, share what they learned. Hey, that's what we're here about. And to see that the idea of the show, if you guys go back, was to show it's normal people running this shit. Some people think that they remember when people used to put developers on this fucking pedestal of like they were like gods. They were like,
Yep.
oh my gosh, they were and some of them really did awesome jobs coding. And I'm not belittling
Oh
what
yeah.
their abilities were of coding, but people would take it and fork something off and create something, and they would, oh my gosh, he's so great. These are just regular people. They're people that worked and tried to learn and built and learned some coding knowledge and went with it. And that was the
And
idea
the
to show
funny
this.
part is
Mhm.
now that has reversed.
Yeah.
Now the general public just doesn't give a damn. They want their free stuff. They don't care who does it. And now the devs are the ones that think they're gods
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
providing stuff.
Yeah. You're right. It's a weird how things have evolved over time. When I look back to the times when it first started, when me and ARB first talked about the Kodi Matters show, and uh, what we were trying to come up with and what the idea was, and it was just basically showing it's just regular people. This is regular people doing some of this stuff, and so when some people say, "Oh, I'll never be able to do that," yes, you could. I
Yeah.
mean,
And Jen proved that because Jen was just a simple template, a couple of mouse clicks, and you got an add-on.
yeah, that was the the I want to say genius or the great idea with Jen was that you could take a basic template, and within what 10, 15, 20 minutes, you could have yourself an add-on. And
Yep.
that was so then all of a sudden, whoa, I got my own add-on. That's not saying you have to try to be, I want to have a million followers, but no, if you want an add-on for you and your families, that's all that mattered because it gave the content that you wanted. So yeah, you're right. That changed the whole mindset of who could do this, and that's what this show is about: just bring normal people on. And
In my opinion, it just made it too easy now, and too many glorified end users, as I call them, are making add-ons now.
yeah, but I mean, to me, that all washes out over time because it's easy to create. It's easy to create an add-on. It is really not hard to create an add-on. You can take a fork of somebody's add-on, out some icons, change out the name, a few little changes. You can have yourself an add-on. To maintain an add-on is completely different. So you can create 100, but a long-lasting add-on takes a person that has perseverance and is going to do it every day,
Yep.
day in, day out. That's the grind, and that's when you find out who's really in it for the long haul. Because you do this shit for a year in this community doing updates is like I want to say it's like dog years. It's like 7 years. It's just because it's a lot of work.
But like you've talked about in the past, it goes from a hobby to almost an obsession
You're
with
right.
a lot of people. And that's when it's not fun anymore is when it's time to take a break or,
Yeah.
And a lot
do
of people
whatever you
don't
got to do.
realize it's the end users that don't make it fun anymore because they constantly rag on you.
Well, they
Well,
expect perfection.
and
Most
this is a
end users want
shitload of work for everyone.
Yep.
yeah, and I think that people don't understand the work that goes in. And I've said it over and over and over. Anybody that does an add-on, especially a one-click add-on, oh my god, and playlists. It's easy to create a scraper add-on where you're linking to track list or an IMDb list and let the scraper do all the work. Yeah, that is some work. But if you're a person that's creating one clicks in those unique lists, the work that goes into it every damn day,
Yeah.
it becomes. I'm telling you, that's why Dabs doesn't do that no more. You could not make me make an add-on anymore. There is no
Well, it's
way in
like
the world I would make an add-on.
when someone asked me for like a big show, say like they wanted Dallas from the 80s.
Yeah.
You know, that took me 2 days because some people will do one clicks where they just grab links and put them in their XML to make it easy for them. I upload every single thing so I know exactly what I'm uploading,
Yep.
not trusting somebody else's links. So it takes me days to do one show sometimes. Then you got to make the XML, which was the really crappy part because I do everything manually.
Yeah, and then
I'm
some
just
people
goofy
don't
like
put
that.
info, they don't put IMDb numbers. They make a simple XML, whereas others do it the long way and do it what I think is the right way, but they do it all correctly.
Yeah. I don't do any IMDb numbers or anything like that just because I hate people.
Well, I know that.
Screw them and their summary. Google exists.
Yeah, Andrew says that every time something went wrong with Bob, myself or Deb wanted to fix it straight away. It became a job trying to be perfect. And that's the thing. The perfection is so hard and you constantly chase it and it becomes so much work. And that's
Yeah.
why I never belittle people's work if they want to give forth their. Maybe it's not the add-on for you, fine. But you know what? I give props to that person that wants to put out that effort, uh, because you can do it. Um, Maintaining it is a whole nother thing, and uh, there's so many. Where it's building blocks also on what people did earlier, building on other people's work, and that's what this community. When I think about when I've mentioned in the past, passing the baton, people have passed the baton on over and over. Um, so you can't belittle people's work in the past and say, well, that was old stuff. No, that old stuff got you to where you are now. And
Yep.
it's easier now because of the work that they did prior. And that's where, again, props out to anybody that wants to put hard work into this. And once you do it, as C-Man said, XMLs can be easy and also XMLs can be hard depending on how much work you put in it and how much detail. Like you said, like some of those links, putting that links to puts the fan art in and all the information, like you were saying about a movie where it was have like a certain information about the movie, or is it just blank about the information? Well, that's because the developer either put that information in or they said, I don't care about that. Here's the link. So, um, oh, let's see. What's his? Andrew says the most fun I had doing an add-on was coming up with new ideas and doing these streams talking about it. And actually doing bit was always the boring part. And Andrew and I, again, he was an old builder with me, and we back in the older days of us creating builds, and we kind of got a friendship and doing different stuff, and then got in with Bob, and it was great. It was going back to the old days, honestly, when we had a developer that had the know-how that I did not have, or Andrew didn't have, or Blue, or some of us others that had no knowledge of code, we could give an idea, and that person would take that idea and say, "That's a good idea. Let me see if I can create that into something." And then that person would create what you wished for. It's like, like a wish list, and then create it to make it happen. I remember when we first talked about Bob way back, and we talked about creating animated gifs like the icons, where the icons were moving. Nobody did that, and we were talking about that, and they're like, "Well, we think we can do that." And next thing you know, came up with the idea to create that. And again, it's just can you do it Yes, you can. It's a proof of concept, and people build on it. So that's what the fun thing with this community is,
Yeah.
building on those ideas, and everything coming together. And it's fun being in this community. I truly, truly love being in this community. It's a lot of work. Mark says, people expect a lot. Yes, and but the thing is I find the people that expect a lot are usually those short term people. They come, they find it's fun, they find it's too much work to research shit, and then they quit.
Yep.
They go
Yeah,
on to something,
exactly.
and that's fine. I'm like, move on, jog on.
I just keep my stuff simple because I know the more you add, more features you give them, the more they're going to ask for nowadays.
And the more shit that breaks.
Yep. The more you
Yeah.
add, the more you change the code, it's going to break other stuff. Then you got to chase down those bugs. So it's like,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you're too lazy to press next yourself and you want someone to do it for you, my add-ons aren't for you.
What was it? What was that kiss? Keep it simple, stupid, or keep it stupid simple, or what?
Something like that.
KISS, something like that. Keep shit simple. Keep it simple, and you're gonna have less problems. I do see. Hey, there's Eddie. I see that some builds, and again, some builds. Hey, if you want to make that build, props to you. I appreciate go for it. For me, I ain't got time for that. I have a full time job. This is just something I'm helping people with. I don't have time for all that. Let's see. Let's see. Andrew says, "Man, I remember being obsessed with being the first with new releases. Yeah,
Me
with
too.
always in
Big time.
competition with Phoenix. Yeah, I remember Phoenix back in the day. You soon realize that no one cares about who was first. They only cared about what works. a hundred
Yep.
percent.
He's absolutely right.
We used to chase who could release shit first. I remember with us in Bob, and there would be the competition who would release the newest movie first on their add-on into the new releases, and you'd be trying to, and you'd beat them by just a few minutes or maybe an hour or maybe even a few hours. Who cares? But I say customer, the end user cared about was when they clicked the fucker that it worked. That's all that
Exactly.
mattered. That's all that mattered. Don't matter who was first. But
Ego
yeah,
gets in the way of that.
yeah. But also a lot of that is built on us. If you're a builder and you're or an add-on person, most of the pressure becomes on you because you set that bar, right? You set that bar of what you want.
You're exactly right. And that's the mentality I had. If you're not first, you're last. And that's, that's not the right that's not the right mentality to have when you're
Not in Kodi,
doing
no.
stuff. No.
Because you're never think about it, guys. You're never done. You're never done.
Who the fuck's
Because
Exactly.
guess
watching a
what?
movie at 9 in the morning?
And guess what? Another movie comes out at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Did you got that up? Oh, guess what? One dropped at 1:15. Did you add that? There's never an end. You're constantly up when the new movie's out, up the new episode is out, and especially TV. Oh my god, the new thing. So keeping that up was like, oh
In
Jesus.
the end, now all they have to do is go to a scraper add-on and it'll be there anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dabs and I were talking about that earlier. They're getting them faster and faster.
Here, Jose got a question. How difficult to make/maintain a live TV add-on? Thanks for the builds and add-ons. And this is a question. This is a legitimate question. I think this is a good question for the panel.
Oh, it's
So,
legitimate.
how difficult do you guys think to creating a live TV add-on is? What you
It's
guys think?
easy to make the add-on. As far as keeping the links live, that is a pain in the
Pain in the
ass.
ass. Yep.
Because if something is live, like say a sporting event, which is usually what people care about, and the reason they want to make add-ons, you can get your link for your sporting event and drop it in there, and 5 minutes later it'll be dead, and then you have to chase another one. And you have to do this over and over and over again as the event goes on. So if you have that kind of time and perseverance, as Dab said, then you can do it. And also, one thing I will mention
Mhm.
is with add-on makers and with builders, because I run into a lot of builders lately that do not even know the basics of a PC, but they want to be the greatest new kid on the block. So if you want to make an add-on and make builds, make sure you know something about a computer.
Yes,
Some
exactly.
people don't even know how to copy and paste, if you can believe it.
That's Control C, Control V. There, you
V,
Yeah,
I
remember?
know it well.
Remember? Do you remember the memes? I'm a developer. Control C, Control V.
yeah. So yeah, it's pretty hard to do a live add-on because you're gonna have to constantly be chasing links and replacing them during the course of an event. I mean, take the crew for instance; they're very popular for their sports. And when events are live, you can go in their chat and you can see people like, "Why isn't this working? Why isn't this working?" And
Well, and to
it'll
be
be a
fair,
constant.
the crew actually use scrapers. They use scrapers because, all right, so how the crew and some other add-ons do it, they scrape a website.
Yeah,
So they point to a particular website, especially if you go through the crew and you see the SR, TR, whatever the initials are, that usually represents a particular website and
yes,
it will scrape it. Well, honestly, those websites don't want this application pulling from them because there's no ad revenue. So if you have a website, why do you have a web page? It's because you want ad revenue. Ad revenue comes from a pop-up. Ad revenue comes from whatever so they're able to pop at you. When you use the K app, guess what? There's no ad revenue because it doesn't display those, so they don't get the money from it. So those websites do not want an add-on pulling links from their web page because they get no money. So they're supplying a link, but they're getting no money from it. So a lot of those websites work hard to not allow an add-on to scrape their web page. So that's why you see a lot of the crew, those things break, those websites break.
yep,
Um, and it takes time to make sure that you've got it. There's coding that goes into saying, ignore all this of the web page, but just grab this. Ignore all this, but then grab this. Because if you look at a web page, if you go to any of those sports web page, it's click here and ignore all this. Oh, here's the link to the actual event. And then usually something else you got to click. A scraper says it knows the format of the page. Look here, grab that. Look here, grab that. Look here, grab that. That's what a scraper does. It knows to ignore all the others, but only grab XYZ. So that's what a creating a scraper is. But as soon as a website changes, guess what? X ain't here no more. X is over here. Oh, instead of here, now you got to go over there. And so these websites change shit. So making a live TV add-on is easy, or I won't
yeah,
say easy. Can be. Not that real super difficult. Maintaining it is something different if you're pulling from websites or like Mark was saying, if you're doing direct links, holy shit, you're never watching a sport event because you're grabbing links, sticking them, sticking them, sticking them, sticking them.
yeah.
Um,
It's
Props to
just like
those
this.
guys that do.
yeah.
I mean, that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Then even like Dab said, the scrapers will break, just like any normal add-on, the scrapers will break. Then you got to
Yeah,
fix that stuff.
yeah,
I mean, it's a matter of you got to learn how to do this stuff first and then do it. Because a lot of people just want an add-on already pre-rolled. All I have to do is put my name on it, and I got an add-on, guys.
Mhm.
That's what a
pretty
lot of
much.
people come in wanting to do nowadays, but it takes a lot more than that. You need some basic knowledge at least,
Yeah.
or find someone that's really dumb and will hold your hand constantly.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I'm done with that phase.
yeah, nobody's gonna hold your hand anymore. I mean, they'll help you. I think there's people gonna help you, but hold your hand long term.
I give general help, but once they start asking like even the simplest questions, it's like, don't have time. Sorry,
Moving on.
just pouring the download.
I know, and it's easy to lose patience with people, and I've learned that, and I'm trying to get better at it. That's why I'm fairly quiet these days.
Well, like I told you the other day, it's not even worth getting better because the more you hold their hand, the more they're going to expect it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's life.
Yep.
That is a complete. I mean, let's just ignore what topic we're talking. Let's just say in life, if you help somebody with their job, someone you work with, you help them with a project. Okay, they get through the project. Next project comes along. Guess what? You're helping them with that project. Next thing you know, next project comes. You're helping them with that. I mean, that is basic human nature that people will do what they have to, and if you're willing to carry the load for them, they're fine with it. This is all right. So we make fun of this part here. It makes me think of back in the old days when Andrew and I were doing builds. I quit doing TV guides. Now I know there's a couple builds that keep up with the TV guides. I ain't got no time for that, to be honest. Andrew used to do. He was very anal about his shit being right. He would be back. Remember the Stalker days, Mark? I bet you remember Stalker, and
Yes.
C-Man, you might remember Stalker.
I do.
It was free. You could get Stalker, IPTV Stalker. You could get it. It would work. That mug would spend days getting all the channels linked, right? You know, you link this channel, make sure your TV guide. Oh, boom, 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 boom. He would release a build. The next day, the damn Stalker would change, and everything in his TV guide broke. And I was like,
Yep.
"Why are you even doing that?" He goes, "I was trying to make it easier for people." Like, you spent 2 days to get that shit right, and guess what? It's broke because Stalker. Back then, Stalker was a free IPTV service. It was a thing that we all could use, and it would be but he was so anal about every channel being right, every channel, and it would be like a day, maybe 2. Boom, a fucker would break. Oh, it was
I don't do that shit. I
no,
don't have time for it.
no.
I
And
mean, if people miss their cable that much with their guide, then call your cable company back and say you're sorry for leaving.
Yeah.
Pay them the money.
you're exactly right. I tell people all the time, well, then just sign back up to cable. I mean, because what you're wanting is not the realistic expectation to what this community is going to give you. And I
I
don't
mean,
think
it's
Nookie's.
realistic,
I don't think
but
Nookie's
someone will
talking
take
about.
advantage of you
I don't think
and ask
Nookie's
you for
talking
money.
about the Bob that I'm thinking about. I think she was probably talking about another Bob. If I know Nookie.
Yeah, just like the
uh,
golf club.
oh yeah. So all right. So this is all right, Geo. This is a question that we would see on a Facebook post. And again, I'm not going to roast. I'm not going to be honest with you. This is a post that's going to say, I got a Fire Stick, wondering what is the best best Kodi to use. So let's start with just the Kodi part. So for you guys, what would be the best Kodi that you would suggest to them? Because we got Kodi 19, Kodi 18, Kodi 20, or Kodi
Kodi
21.
19 is the most reliable now
Yeah.
because Kodi 20 has bugs on Android and Fire Stick is an Android type device. So I would stick with 19
Okay.
if you want perfect streaming because 19 works really fine.
Okay. C-Man, thoughts?
I agree with Mark totally. My daily driver is 19.4.
Mhm.
I have seen an improvement in 20, but there's and I haven't had any crashes lately, I can't say. But I don't use it enough to warrant saying that. So I'd stick with 19 right now until 20.1 or so comes out and they fix a few issues.
Yeah,
Just
because
my
like in the
thoughts.
past with 18, 18 was trash until like what, 18.6?
Yeah.
There were so many
Yeah,
problems
I
with
don't
it.
know. I mean, I 18.3, 18.4, I think was because there was, yes, a lot of issues with 18.
Well, 18.3 is when they broke the zips.
Oh, was that 18? All right. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was working. Then, yeah.
So just wait, stick with 19 and just wait a little bit till they get the bugs ironed out at 20.
All right. So, again, so when we're talking about a Fire Stick, and I'll take this one step forward because maybe he's not just talking about Kodi. If someone's using a Fire Stick, what would be your suggestion on a build, a setup, or not particularly not just a build, but a setup that would work for them? What would be your suggestion because they're on a Fire Stick? So what's your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, any build will work fine on a Fire Stick. The only time that people run into issues with builds and they say, oh, don't use a build, it's the typical Reddit thing is don't use builds. It's because people have a build and they'll install 5 forks because they want 5 different builds because they want different looks. Then they want these APKs and then they'll load this thing up with so much stuff. They're like, I don't understand. This build is crap. It keeps crashing on me. Well, it's because you're overloading a simple little Fire Stick that you got for $30, you know? So, I mean, any build will work fine. And if you don't want to do that, you can just go ahead and, was it CodiApps.com? Go there, look at the add-ons, grab what you want, and make yourself a simple setup. I mean, it's
And
that
there is
easy.
a difference between a Fire Stick Lite, a Fire Stick, a 4K, and a 4K Max. There's
Yeah.
different specs for each of those devices. So when people say a Fire Stick, one is not the same as the other. Same as if you have a PC and you have a gaming PC. Those are they're not the same thing. They're both PCs, but the specs are different. So be sure that you understand which device you're using because a Kodi Light, and I've played around with people that gave me a Kodi Light stick, and I've installed stuff, and then I've used a 4K stick. It's not the same. Um, the reaction time, the interface are not as responsive from one to the other. Um, you're not talking apples to apples. There is a difference. So be sure that you know what device you're installing it on. So, so when we say Fire Sticks, that could be 4 different things. When we talk Fire Stick, go ahead, Seaman. Did you have something you want to throw in there?
No, I'm good.
All right. So yeah. So just be careful what you install. My opinion, Kodi 19 solid. Nightly 20 is good. Keeping your build small. The more popular builds that everybody talks about uh, tend to be heavy. And what I mean by is the resource heavy on a Fire Stick. Don't go to Fire Stick Lite on some of those big builds because there's so many background processes going on. When you're linking to TMDB helper and the weather and the this and the that,
Yep.
in my opinion, when you're grabbing and all those background processes are going on, the processor's only able to handle so much. So let's picture a desk and someone says, can you work on this one program? And they give you a sheet, and you're like, yeah, I can work on that. And you write out the sheet and you hand it to them. You move it. And they're like, well, here's another one. Can you work on that? Yeah, sure, I can work on that. And let's say that someone comes up and throws 15 files on your desk and say, can you handle that? Which one do I work on first? And you're trying to work through them, and it's just too much. What happens is the lower end sticks tend to have a smaller desk. So the more files you keep throwing on the desk becomes more difficult for them to handle. And when we go to the bigger builds with a lot of other things going on, they can overload that small desk because you've thrown 50 files on that one desk and say handle them, and the desk is like, I can't handle all of them all at one time, so you get a crash. So
Yep.
be careful what you install. Start small, build up, and end it.
Yeah, just
Um,
get a simple build on 19 and you'll be all set because, I mean, a lot of people are so new at this, they don't understand. They want the most add-ons they can get. They don't realize all
yeah,
these add-ons are pretty much getting the stuff from the same exact place. So,
yeah,
don't listen to YouTube and you need 3,000 sources for one file. Because as we've always said for decades now, it seems like you need one to make it work.
yeah. You're clicking only one link. Andrew has a good point here. I was looking through here. Andrew says third-party Kodi community forced big networks to move into streaming sector. Now they need to think, make them to give them a fair price. Hopefully, more competition, more competitive pricings will become. Uh, you think about it when people could come here or come to the application and pull and showed that guess what, people didn't have to subscribe to your regular cable network to get that content. They were happy to get it through the internet. I think he's got a good point that it showed that there was a market and a very significant market that would be willing to pay to watch everything via the internet. So yeah, I think Andrew's right. I think that's probably pretty true.
But one thing too,
Mhm.
people don't realize is, and I know it's not available in all countries, so don't get me wrong, but you need a good device and you need good internet speed.
Two important things. Yeah.
Two important things. I mean, if you want great streaming, those are the two most important things, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I always recommend, and I still do, the T95Z box.
That's a
I
great one.
bought them. I've sent them to people. A lot of people have bought them. They've had no issues with them because everyone thinks you need that shield. Oh my God, that's the greatest.
It is the
Yeah.
greatest. What the fuck you talking about?
But I mean,
I
just
only
get a
own 4.
just get a simple device like that, dedicated Android device. You can hook up a extra hard drive if you want to, without going through the Fire Stick where you got to get the cables and crap.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, make sure you do have good internet because a lot of people like, oh, I live out in a rural area. I get 2 megabytes per second. Like, well, good luck with your 4K. I
Well,
mean,
I
people
will say, all
expect the
right, so with
world.
the I've had T95s. I had those T95s for years. Downside to a lot of Android, those off branded Android devices, is you're not going to get Netflix. You're not going to get Netflix 4K. You're not going to get some of the DMRA or DMCA DMR approved stuff. So you're not going to get Disney. You're not going to get the lot of the true paid subscriptions that have to
Yeah,
go through the DMR. So if you're using, let's say you want to use, I got Disney subscription, I got a Netflix subscription, you're going to run into issues when you go with a T95 because they don't have the what's it, certification or whatever. I can't remember what it was called, but they can't prove that it is a secure device, whereas if a Fire Stick or a Shield does have those certifications. A Roku has that certifications. Some of those devices have the certification where you can watch it. I think some of the T95s, if you watch it under Netflix, then the highest resolution you get is 720 or something like that.
yeah,
So there is on some of those Chinese boxes, when I say Chinese, because it's like the T95s and some of those, you won't get the legitimate services if you're paying for one of those legitimate services. If you're watching only through the K app, well, then fine, you're going to be able to watch it.
yeah.
But if you're
That's
watching,
most of the people ask about is just using your K app
yeah,
thing. That's why I recommend them.
yeah, and yeah, and so it does have a purpose. But sometimes people get that and they're like, "Whoa, I'm not able to watch Netflix. I can't." Well, no, because it's not an approved device, so Netflix is legally won't let you do it. Um, Grab this real quick. Are you guys TVMate subscriptions? I have it. It's worth the price for me, but that's me. because I like it that I have the ability that TVMate allows me to use different subscriptions. That is the plus for me, as well as the multi-screen feature is above
I'll
and
be right back.
beyond any is above any other application to me for live TV. I'm not sure about you, C-Man, if you use any of those, but to me, TVMate does a far better job for the especially multi-screen or multi-subscription feature. So for me, it is.
I love TV Mate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And again, if you have one subscription, you don't watch multi TV or multi screens, then you're not going to see the benefit that I see or C-Man sees. But if you have multiple subscriptions and you watch multiple screens and you want to swap between one to the other, TVMate is better than other. I've been messing around with I Am Player this week. Very cool application, but I see where its niche is. So I see where who could really benefit from that, but the end users, a lot of end users, I don't think would benefit from that, unless you're a person that needs someone to set it all up for you. Um, all right. So, hey, I'm going to go ahead. Prices increased. Yes, you're right. I think price increased, Nookie. I'm sorry if I've scanned through you guys. If there's another question, post it again, a comment. I'm sorry because I was scrolling about. Prices increased. I think I looked, and this is Canadian, $10 for a year for TVMate, $30 for lifetime.
Yeah.
It was 7 in 23, 25. But again, it depends on if you're a person like Mark. He's never going to watch live TV. So he could give two fucks if he watches live TV or, you know what I mean? So for him, it doesn't matter. For me, I'm a sports guy. So yes, I want to have at times multiple screens going with my sports. So you got to figure out who you are about that. So Nookie said she just paid for $30. Yeah, so $30 Canadian. So maybe a little cheaper if you're in the US and or so yeah. So all right. So I mean I'm gonna change the background real fast for a second. And then we'll actually get because we already been talking about this topic. We already been talking about the K app. So I saw NARS asked about a big add-on, and that was in my title because I do think that this is a relevant topic for right now, which is the KodiVerse is going to be closing down. And for the people that may not understand, KodiVerse is one add-on that incorporated numerous add-ons inside that one add-on. So what's happening is the KodiVerse add-on itself is going to go away, meaning that it won't work anymore. So if you've installed KodiVerse and you've used other add-ons inside of that, you're going to find that your add-ons aren't working because they're linked via KodiVerse and watch. So right now, KodiVerse is still working. It is still up. It is still active. But at any time, the XML. So we'll get nerdy on you guys for a second. So if you have KodiVerse installed and you click KodiVerse or Asgard or the K or 4K or Odin or Magic Dragon or Torque or whatever's in there, you click on one of those add-ons. It goes to the XML where KodiVerse is. KodiVerse says, hey, go to this location where you're going to be able to get the content for Asgard, 4K, Odin, Magic Dragon, Torque, MeTV, whichever other add-on that's inside there. KodiVerse main XML points you to the end location where the XML for that add-on is. The KodiVerse XML is going to go away. So at at any time. I have no idea when it's going to happen, but they announced that they will be closing. When that goes away, if you've been accessing any of the add-ons that I mentioned previously via KodiVerse, your add-on will quit working because
It's no longer linked to that
Yeah.
add-on.
it's not there no more. So it has no directory to point to.
Right.
So what you can do is that you can install any of those add-ons separately and they will work. They're still active. All those add-ons are still there. So that one big add-on is going away. But so if you're a builder, if you have an add-on, if you've set shit up, you're going to need to go into and find, which quite a few repos have it, and install those separate add-ons instead of it being one add-on that has 7 or 8 add-ons inside it. So people need to because I have no idea when the KV app or add-on is going to go away. No idea. But it could happen tomorrow, it could happen next week, it could happen next month. I don't even know. So if you have a setup that's using that, you may want to install separately. What do you guys think? I mean, I've tried to explain that. Maybe I over-explained it, but
No,
that
I mean
works.
you explained it right. I've already changed all mine. All mine have individual add-ons,
mhm.
and
You
I
can
don't.
look at KodiVerse like a book. KodiVerse is the index, and it tells you where to go. So rip those pages out of the book, then you're not going to be able to rely on the index. Pretty much.
Yeah, you're right. Yep, and again, I was a user of that add-on. I've been using it for ever since it came out because I was like, fuck, I install one add-on and guess what? I get the access to 7 or 8 add-ons. I loved it. It was a great way to like Mark's saying, it's a directory. But now that one directory is going to be gone. So I just need to install it the way it was before. And guess what? It's going to work. Those add-ons, those other add-ons are still there. You just need to install them separate because when KodiVerse disappears or removes their XML, there's a lot of people's builds that's going to stop working. There's a lot of people. So, just get your heads up, fix your shit.
Yeah, fix your shit. I mean, the thing about it was great for builders because it was small.
Yes.
You got about 8 add-ons in one. And it was small. So, but things don't last forever. And I have no clue when they're going to, or what they're going to do with it. So
Yep.
It's not mine and I had nothing to do with it, but so.
And again, I've said this, if you're not a person that's willing to stay on top of this hobby, stay informed, do your homework, understand this hobby. This hobby will leave you. It will move past you. You have to stay on top of it. So you're either going to spend some time to stay on top of this hobby, or you're going to be left behind, or you're going to pay somebody. You're going to pay Joe Schmo down the street that's going to say, I got you hooked up. I'll set you up. You pay me $20. I'll set you up. So whichever way you want to do it, that's up to you. But this is a hobby that you need to stay informed on. It is an evolving, constantly evolving hobby that you have to stay on top of, and that's just what it is. I think Mark said a lot of times people are lazy and they want to click and go. Okay, that works today, but maybe tomorrow that add-on's gone. Then what are you gonna do?
And see, it's not just the builders and us devs that have to worry about stuff. It's you guys as end users. You got to have some kind of knowledge. You can't just, oh, I'm going to install a build and it's just going to work. You have to do some maintenance too.
Well, it's easier to say, oh, that doesn't work. I hear it all the time.
It sure is.
That doesn't work.
Oh, I see that constantly on forums.
I'm like,
it's broke.
Like, can you help me? It's broke.
Yeah.
No details, no nothing.
No.
Yeah. That's like I think I posted on one of the forum or on one of the Facebook's things, and someone says it's broke, and I said that's like driving into a a car repair shop and say my car's broke.
Then
Yeah.
walking out.
Yeah, that's it. Just walking into a car shop or a mechanic and saying my car's broke and leaving does
Here, can
give
you fix this shit?
yeah, there's no idea what's broke, what doesn't work, what it does. So a lot of times we see that in forums and in Reddit. It's like, how about a little details? We see that. I see it constantly. How about some more information? What device are you using? Which version of the K app are you using? What build are you using? What add-on are you talking about? Do you have RD? Do you not have RD? Is it a one-click? So it's like, I can't help you if I have no idea. If you just say, it's broke. Okay. Well, if it's broke, here's the number to Spectrum. Sign up and jog on. So,
And the
Yeah.
main thing, which we probably haven't mentioned in weeks, is go to RD's website and make sure you have days left.
oh,
That's the number one thing.
Make sure you have what?
RD.
You got to
If
make
your
sure you have
RD is
days
active.
left.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
exactly. I see that all the time.
Oh, God. That is true. That is number when people say, do you have RD? Yeah, I have RD. Is it still got time? Of course it has time. They always get shitty with you.
Yep.
Yeah. And then a few lines down, you'll see, oh, sorry, I didn't realize I ran out of time. Because
Oh, yeah.
RD does not
Give you a warning.
does not subscribe you for more months. Does not. If you
Yep.
don't go
There's
in and
no
click,
auto build. There's
nope.
no emails saying your subscription's going to expire.
Nope.
You have to use that thing that's rattling around in your head.
You gotta set a time. I told a friend of mine, I said, set an alert on your phone a week before it expires to say, I need to subscribe again. I told him, I said, just send them alert. Just pop it. Oop, I need to reauthorize my RD because it's gonna run
That's
out.
funny.
And because honestly, when it's once every 6 months, it's easy to forget. I
Yeah.
mean, I've almost come to that. I've came close to where I almost ran out. And
Well, I
I'm like,
just
oh
have
shit.
both of the services I have open in a browser, so I know. But that's funny about the phone thing because a lot of people want the latest and the greatest phone with all the great shit on it, but they won't know how to use it, obviously. A
Yeah.
simple calendar alert would work wonders.
Yeah, yeah, it's right there. Cash fidelity points. Yep. If you have, I think I talked about that in. I can't remember if I talked, but there is fidelity points. Take a look at that. If you have RD and you've had it for a while, there is where it's you can earn a month or 2 months back free.
Yeah, you get 800 points for signing up for 6 months. Then for every 1,000 points you have, you get a free month.
Yep. 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 A random guy down the street will supply you with a fully loaded Xbox with XBMC and Navix. All right, so we find a lot of us that's been using this because XBMC was how many years ago? 10? It got to be close to 10 years. The XBMC has
Yeah,
been around.
more than
With
that, I think.
NaviX is gone, so yeah, you're right, Apache. There's somebody selling it that will sell you fully loaded, basically selling you something that's way out of date. So, um, yeah, and again, here he's got 132 days and 4 days. This is another thing people they don't realize you can buy 6 months and then turn around and click to buy another 6 months. So then you're set
Yes.
for a year.
Yeah.
So those are just advice. But and I want to say a couple add-ons do it. I know Fen, when I've been using Fen, probably Umbrella does it. You actually can click on the RD section under tools, and you can click your subscription, and it actually gives you your username and how
Yeah.
many days you have left.
Yeah.
So if you're using some of those bigger add-ons, click on it's under tools or settings, I can't recall, but RD section and services, and actually shows you how many days you got left. probably smart to take a look at that every once in a while because, like I said, Mark said, so often people like every link fails. Maybe it's because just not working. Another big add-on update that happened this week was the skin shortcut. And that updated, and I know C-Man and I were talking about this earlier in before the show that there was a skins update, and I did see it pop up on my Shield that it updated to probably to 20 to do some bug fixes.
It seemed to help some things. I mean, the crashes, but again, I'd stay on 19 for now. But I mean, just for everyday user.
Well, for me, I will say, and I'll jump out on the ledge, and people on the panel can be happy to argue with me. I actually messed around with
Nightlies?
the nightly about 2 weeks ago. The nightly for 20 for Nexus 20 fixed a lot of the bugs, and I might have talked about it a few weeks back that there was some issues with characters, which means the not just the ABC, but when we have extra marks or things asterisks above letters, that Kodi 20 had a problem. The version of Android and in Python that they were using was having an issue reading that. The nightly actually fixed all of those problems. I've been using the nightly for 20 for about 2 weeks. I have yet to see a crash. Now, I don't use TMDB helper. I don't use a lot of extra widgets. I have 2 widgets in my build. I don't have a lot of extra stuff. I have, over the last 2 weeks, seen 0 crashes, but I'm using the nightly. Now, you need to know, do you have a 32-bit or a 64-bit? So keep that in mind. Do not install 21. We're only talking 20. So if you use one of those, I don't know about you two. I'm not sure which one you guys have. If you've tested them.
I tested 20 and
Okay.
I've had no issues, but a lot of my end users, they've been using the builds. I asked them what's going on, and they're like, no problems, no crashes, no nothing.
But
And
do you use a
that
lot of
just goes
widgets
down to
in
the
your
build.
builds? Now
What's
your
that?
builds,
Mark hates widgets.
you don't use any widgets, right?
I don't use widgets. I don't use any of that Fen or Serene or Seren.
Sorry. What about TMDB helper? You don't use TMDB helper?
Nope.
See
I
again,
just use
your
simple
build is
stuff.
kind of so small. It's a extremely small build that's not needing a lot of those extra things.
Yes, because I'm not one that I care about eye candy. A lot of people want their widgets and they want it to look like Netflix because why
Yeah.
read when you can look at a picture and click on it?
Why read?
I don't hold hands. Either you read what it says and decide on the movie yourself, or you don't watch anything, or use someone else's stuff. I don't care.
Yeah, since I've switched to the nightly, I haven't had any crashes,
Mhm.
and I'm using my 347 MB build.
The Fire Stick Killer.
Yeah,
Now,
don't
Dabs.
use it.
No, honestly, I had a Fire Stick Killer. My 500 megabyte back in the day, my Depulse, 500. It was like 500 megs. But
Oh, I've had people send me 1 gig builds.
oh Jesus.
I was like, no,
Yeah,
I'm not
me
hosting it
too.
for you. I'm not helping you with it. Go away.
So this is I'm on the 7, which would be the 32-bit, and you can see they're each night, or well, I should say every 2 nights they release a build. Sometimes they'll go a weekend. Like this went from March 2nd to March 6th, and this was the 7th. This was the 9th. So I've probably been a couple weeks back, so I've probably been to the 27th, I would guess, and there was actually the developer Gajal hit me up and said we were messaging back and forth, and he actually pointed out the issue with the characters that was an issue in Python. The version of Python that they were using that was having an issue with special characters. And he actually sent me, there was a, you can pull the GitHub and the pull request, all that stuff. And there was an issue with it. And that was pushed somewhere in the 27th or right the 1st of March. That was pushed as part of the nightly. And ever since then, I have seen zero crashes. Now, I didn't have a lot of crashes before, did not have a lot, had a few, but I have not seen it. So if you're a person, you're on Android and you're pushing, you may want to take a look at some of the nightlies. Normally, I would not suggest people to use nightlies. Most times I would not, but only reason I'm suggesting possibly nightlies, if you're getting a lot of crashes on your setup for 20, you may want to install a nightly and see, hey, does this fix my crashes? Because it can be related to the element tree and or the special characters. So
Yep.
it's definitely a thing that you may want to check into and
But it's
see.
still going to be hit or miss because everyone has different setups.
True.
Like me and Dabs, like we've been around so long, we like simple. You know, we don't have 30 add-ons and
Mm.
have all this fancy stuff floating around the screen because it looks cool. Jingling keys, as I call it.
Yeah, you're right. And I mean, it's
So it might work, it might not.
yeah, but I
Trash
mean,
can always try.
if you're having a lot of crashes, that may be something you want to install. If you're using a Fire Stick, you're gonna have to use Downloader. Downloader is nothing but a browser, to be honest. Yeah, some people give you a code. Bottom line is it's a damn browser. So you can go in and type in http:// and then go to the website and go to and take a look at the nightlies. You'll go to Android, then you'll go to, what did I say? What was it under? It was under, let's see, let me back up here.
All right, I think right when you go to Kodi, it'll tell you nightlies once you pick.
Yeah,
an
it's
OS.
under development. It's under, so when you go to Android, there will be recommended, which will be 20, pre-release, which is 21, don't install it, and then development. And under development, you'll have, and you click on the 32-bit or 64-bit, and that'll be what the nightly is. If you're having issues, if you're not having issues, don't do it. I mean, don't do it if you're not having issues. This is for the people that are having issues. You may want to install some of that.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, 100%. If it's not broke, leave it alone. I'm just putting it out there because I do read a lot of forums and a lot of Facebooks, and a lot of people are having issues. And a lot of that comes from if add-ons are writing to the element tree, which is a script inside of Kodi, if multiple things are writing to that one script at the same time, it crashes. Again, it goes back to the desk. If you have a desk that can write one thing at a time and someone throws 5 things on that one desk at the same time, Kodi says, I can't handle it. It throws its hands up and it crashes. If you're writing one thing at a time, sure, it handles it. As soon as something too much, so that's part of the element tree. And the special characters is just another part of it. So it's a learning curve, but I thought I'd toss that out there because that's something that I found that works. And check it
Yeah,
out
it's
if you're
working
in it.
fine for me as well. So
I mean,
And
if you want a really good setup that doesn't crash whatsoever, and this is more than likely because Aubin is watching, and he said something in Streaming Matters.
Oh, Jesus.
Get your own hard drives and set yourself up with Plex.
yeah,
There you
Jesus.
go, Aubin. We mentioned
Oh,
it.
God, I need another fucking beer now. Now I got to get a beer because I just drank. All this beer is gone. Yeah, because every time we drink it.
He said it
Aubin
in
said,
Streaming
"Don't
Matters, so
forget
I figured
about
I'd mention it.
Plex."
Don't forget. Oh, Jesus.
He said that in Streaming Matters. So
Oh, Jesus, my man. Thoughts and prayers out to my boy Aubin.
absolutely,
So hey, I thought since we're kind of like on the topic of Kodi stuff and stuff. I'm gonna throw my little, and I'm not even gonna go big on it. So Mark, don't giggle, because I'm gonna go just a little bit, because I've seen everyone making videos about this. We'll talk about this just for a second. Where I call him Target, but he calls himself Omni Hellcat. But Target got hit. The agreement, or the penalty came out to him, for what he's going to do, and it's 66 months in jail and $30 million fine for his IPTV, which was Gears TV. So if you guys remember Gears TV, so he got hit with that. So that is, you know, you guys go ahead. Go ahead.
All
One
I
of
can
your
say is,
favorites.
yay!
One of
I
your
just hope.
favorite people, right, Dubs?
Yeah, he's a fucking dick. But yeah, I mean, only because I've known a lot of people, and Blue will tell you there's very few people I dislike. Very few people. There's people I won't deal with. There's people I'll avoid. There's people that I will not associate with. And then there's a very, very, very small percentage of people that I really dislike. Him being one, and anybody that Andrew probably isn't watching anymore. When he knows his history with me and Target back in the day when it was Hush'em and all that stuff. Target was a dick. Honestly, Target was in it for the money. He was a Fire Stick seller from the very start. Um, he told me that Kodi would be 100% pay, that it would be a pay as you went along. He says all add-ons will be pay. And he went on, I said, no, this is about a community, people helping people. And he says, BS, this is about getting paid. And that's where this is headed. And him and I would have that argument back and forth, because his concept of what this community was about was different from what my concept of what this community was
Yep.
about.
And I'm sure this article isn't where he thought it was heading.
Yeah. So he ended up, we know that he got hit by the IRS. He got hit with the Motion Picture Association. He got hit by everybody. Ends up, to be honest, $30 million. I actually feel like I'm surprised it was just that low.
Now he's going to jail and he's going to get hit by more people.
So,
Yeah, he
oh,
is.
yeah. So, yeah, it's and again, he did it. I remember, all right, so this is history, guys. So I remember when him and I were on Hush'em, and we would kind of argue, or different points of view on how things should work. And we never saw eye to eye on that, because his point of view was different than mine. And I remember Dexter. Now, any of you older folks remember Dexter? Dexter was a free IPTV service. He was always going to be about free. Him and Target got together, and Target got in his ear because Target didn't work. And so he was online constantly, and him and Dexter got closer and closer as friends. And Target basically said, you know what? You can make money at this. You know what? You can make money. And Dexter at first said, I'm not here to make money. This is about free. And Target talked him into making Dexter become bigger and bigger and bigger and become a paid service. And I don't remember, you remember that, Mark and C-Man, you guys might remember when
Yes.
it went from free to a $3 a month or even less. And it grew and grew, and it got bigger and bigger. And I remember, again, I was in that group watching the chats go on, and as he moved Dexter to a paid subscription. Now, in the end, Dexter closed. And at that time, or right before then, Gears TV started, and then Gears TV took off and flourished. It did really well. I mean, it made a lot of money. But over time, anybody that crossed Target or did him wrong or disagreed with him, it was like you either were a friend or foe with him. It was one or the other. And that was, I cannot deal with people, and I'm fine. We'll move our own way. But if you disagreed with him, it was like, you are an SOB. You are, and he was. I remember him selling out Dexter on a video, talking about how he carried Dexter along. This and I'm like, I was there when Dexter was doing it on his own. He didn't have Target at the beginning. And then he sold out, and he talked junk about Dexter, and then he talked about people. Then he started flaunting all of his money.
Yeah.
And his videos, him making all that money, flashing the money. Remember him like throwing money just like on the
Yeah.
desk?
His own personal strip club in his
Yeah.
house for himself.
Yeah. And remember all the cars, him going and getting cars and buying some high-end $100,000 vehicle.
Yeah, they
So
repossessed all of those. Well, Bob J asked, do they think he has that kind of money? And the answer is yes. Because you got to realize, take even $5 a month, multiply that by thousands of users,
it
and you
was
see where the money comes from.
So the thing is in the article it says $15 a month, which is on the low end of his subscription, because his subscription base was higher than that if you buy it by month. It was 100,000 users times $15 per month for 100,000 users. Da, da, da. So that's why they said that he now will he, because the IRS seized money. The IRS seized product or
They took
items.
all his cars and everything.
So they'll get some of that. Now, was he wise enough to bank whatever overseas? I don't know. Maybe he was smart enough to do that. Maybe he wasn't. To me, he was more for the show. And that's what got him. He was all about the glitz and glamour. Look at what I got. Look at, I made it big. Well, okay, now how are you making it big? So,
Yeah.
I don't know. People, you guys know me. I don't like him. So I think life is a circle. Life is a circle. He used to make fun of me and say I was nothing but a redneck. But you know what? This is a redneck that's not in jail.
Exactly.
he's a man.
Maybe he can pirate cable in prison.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's Dab. All right. So Beach has got a thing. Kraz. I knew Kraz. He only got out with a $250,000 fine. And again, Kraz's family had money, and Kraz made money and got out early. Beach Gears TV was $20 a month. I know people that are paying $30 a month. When I had a friend, a truck driver that was delivering and said, "Oh yeah, I have this thing's called Gear TVs. I pay $30 a month because I have 4 connections." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I pay. It's an awesome deal." I'm like, "Okay." So how many people were doing that? Who knows if he made enough and banked enough? But if I had to guess, him and his showboat himself was blowing money as fast as he made it.
More
Yeah.
than
So
likely, yeah.
maybe he made $100 million, maybe. But how much money went out and how much money do you got? And when it comes time for that $30 million to be paid to the government, maybe he has it. My gut says you don't, because again, people live for the show. If you're living for the show, it's expensive to live for the show. When you're wanting to look like the big baller, when you go somewhere and you're like, "Hey, I cover everybody's drinks in here," So
He might have that assets, but
maybe. I mean, because he has the house or a couple houses. I think they
several, they said.
Yeah, it was the houses, and then it was all the vehicles. That's still 30 million.
That's a
That's
lot of money.
yeah, that's a lot. So I know there was a bunch of videos made about it. I wasn't gonna make a video about it. I'll talk about it here just to kind of shits and giggles. And if Andrew was on here, Andrew and him and I talked. I mean, uh, again, I don't dislike a lot of people on a personal level. This is one that I like. I dislike on a personal level only because him and I made it personal. You can dislike somebody just because of content they make behind me. That's not a personal level. So yeah. So yeah. So oh well, we'll see how he does. Uh, Life is a circle, baby. I'm still making my videos, redneck videos and all. All right.
Karma's a bitch.
It is. It is. It is. And so enough negativity. Hey, we'll talk about Pluto TV. I don't know if you guys saw that Pluto TV got hit by the Motion Picture Association, hit them because Pluto TV was on GitHub. Their playlist, their the M3U was actually posted on GitHub where people could pull that M3U, which is their channel listings. And the MPAA went after them. Did you guys happen to notice that?
I did
No,
not.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. So this where I think this will impact some of our end users or the people that are using some add-ons that may have a Pluto TV section may find in the future difficulty of certain channels loading because the M3U that particular add-on is using is now going to be removed from GitHub. Because Pluto TV pays for access to those channels. They show commercials so that they can pay to have access to those particular channels. But when you pay for the M3U, or when you have the M3U file circumvents the ads that is part of the paid section of the permission that Pluto TV is given to have those particular channels. So Pluto TV having to try to go after the people that, because Pluto TV didn't list this on GitHub, somebody else did. So we may see in the future certain add-ons, their Pluto section and or their certain channel listings not working or being removed because they were using this particular M3U.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll go through it and they'll change everything.
Yeah, Pluto TV is going to
in
have.
the end, I tell people, there's this mentality for some reason that everything has to be in Kodi.
Mhm.
But Pluto TV is free for everybody.
It is.
And it's pretty much factory installed on every device.
Most
Your
TVs,
smart
yep.
TV has it. I mean, if you can't click a different freaking button just to get it because you want to stay in Kodi, then you got to put up with the problems. I mean, there's all the free ones, Tubi, Pluto, and all that. It's all free. It's all factory installed on pretty much every freaking device that I've
Yeah.
seen. So I mean, if it's too much of a hassle to close Kodi and go to something else, then yeah, well, I guess
I think Tubi
psychologists don't do anything anymore anyway.
Tubi geo-blocked the USA though.
It's
No,
blocked in certain countries. I don't know which countries.
yeah,
I think
Tubi's
USA is
Tubi's
all
ads drove me crazy. I tried Tubi for about 15 minutes, and the ads was like, I can't
Yeah.
I
take the
actually get a
ads.
lot of content from Tubi.
Yeah, there's a lot of
I see
content
something
there.
I like and I just grab it.
Yeah. But with Pluto TV, Tubi TV, a lot of those, the downside is, yes, there's ads in it. Well, the reason there's ads in it is so that these services can pay for access to that content. So if you're wanting the ease of just click and watch it play, well, that you got to have the ad to subsidize that particular service. So Pluto TV works because they get money from the ads to pay for access. And if you remove the ads part, well, then they can't pay for the access, which means the content providers are like, well, if you can't pay us, we ain't giving you the content. And that happens with a lot. And a lot of those services work, but you just have to suffer through some ads. But if you
Well,
don't
it's
want
just
to
like the
pay,
major cable companies. You always
yep,
see stories about, oh, they're not going to be showing this station or that station because they're not getting enough money from them and all that crap.
Yeah.
Same thing with the free services. There's always going to be disputes.
Mm-mm-mm. All right, so I was gonna look to see. Got a few other things. I thought I'd toss out this. Since Alban is not here, and we're gonna talk about some movie stuff. We'll toss the floor out to some movies and TV shows that you're watching that you find that are good. Uh, Post it over in the side if so. We'll talk about auto, but if there are some shows or movies that you've seen in the last couple weeks that is stuff that people want or should see that you feel like you've watched it, like that was a great movie or show, post it over in the side chat while we're talking about auto, and we'll jump back over there. So I'm not sure about Mark about watching movies, but I've watched Auto. I know that me and my guys have all watched Auto. C-Man, have you seen this movie? Because this was, we've been waiting for this movie to drop.
I did. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a heartfelt, good movie. But no spoilers. I mean,
Yep.
each to their own. I thought it was great. I thought Tom Hanks did a fantastic job.
Mark, I'm assuming you didn't watch this, right?
You are correct.
You are correct. I watched this on Oculus with Beach, Alban, Roger, Nookie, and somebody else. It was a handful of us, and I apologize if I forget who else watched it.
What were your
And
thoughts?
my thoughts, I've watched the book The Man Called Ove, since that was part of Player Pass. We watched it, so I saw the Swedish version, the movie that this was based off of.
Right.
I loved A Man Called Ove. A Man Called Ove. So OVE. So if you guys want to look that up, it's OVE. Great movie. But you got to read the whole time. I thought Tom Hanks did a fabulous job in converting this from a book / movie, Swedish, to American. I was holding out zero hope for this to be good. I went into expecting to hate it. I went into it expecting to really dislike it because most remakes, American remakes, suck from a foreign film. A girl with a dragon tattoo is an example of that. So, but this movie, fabulous job by Tom Hanks. I think he directed and or produced it, acted in it. Fabulous job. It's a movie that is a make you feel good, make you feel sad, make you cry a little bit. It is one of those types of movies. It is a roller coaster of a movie and a movie to make you reflect on your own life. That's what I love movies about that. I want movies to make me think about my existence and what my meaning is. And maybe that's just me where I am in my life. But when I watched it,
That's how
definitely.
how old men are.
Yeah, there you go. 100%. 100%, Mark. I cried on it. I felt good on it. I watched it 2 days later with Blue. She loved it. I out of 10, I got to give it a 9.5. There was a couple little things if you want to nitpick between the original, small little things. So it's hard to give it a 10, but I
I
would
gave
give
it
it
a 9.
a definite watch. A definite watch.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, it's something else. I'll glance through a couple of these people. Redneck says Auto is very good. So we got before I go through some of the other suggestions. So great movie, and again, you're gonna have to cry a little bit. You're gonna cry a little bit. You're gonna think about it a little bit. It's all over the place. But I thought Tom Hanks did a really good job as
I thought he did as well. I thought he
Yeah.
did. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
He doesn't do very many bad movies though.
Normally not. Normally not. But
He's
I
done a
just
few, but
yeah. Yeah.
not many.
Oh, Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Have you seen Pinocchio? I
No,
watched
I didn't waste my
that last
time on
Pinocchio
that.
and I was like, oh, it was cringy. Yeah, and my kids will probably say, "Dad, don't say cringy." It was a cringe. I was like,
I
ugh.
didn't do that.
I got through about half of it. I'm like, I can't do no more. Can't do no more. Let's see. Eagles says The Offer. I haven't watched that. Either one of you two seen The Offer?
I haven't
I
seen
have
it.
not seen anything.
It's a TV show, if I'm not mistaken. It's a TV series.
I am
Uh,
watching a TV series right now, which is DuckTales from the 80s.
DuckTales.
Ducktail. Stewart says 1923, Tulsa King, and Yellowstone. Those are all great shows.
I heard someone say that Tulsa King sucked.
No, I love Tulsa King.
Tulsa Kings was good until the last episode, if you, in my opinion. The
I thought
last
it was
episode,
good.
I don't know. The last episode wasn't believable. I was like, I don't know. So much of the Tulsa Kings was good. The last episode, me and Blue were watching, like, it was just, I don't know. It was just over the top. It was so much of it was believable and realistic more. And the end was like, it's almost like sci-fi with the shootout and all that. It just felt
There was one new movie that came out that people were like asking me about, and it's that Die Hard movie.
that just came out a day
But
ago or something.
but
It ain't
here's
been
the
out
thing
long.
though, it's just the series crunched down into an hour and a half. It's
Oh.
it's the same as a series. So what they're doing is we talked about in Streaming Matters like last week or so. It's just a money grab that they're doing, and they're just giving you the series in the movie format, and they've been doing that for decades now. So don't fall for that crap, people.
Yeah. I saw it listed. I just hadn't watched it.
I told
Now,
Dabs I watched
Mhm.
the movie Missing,
Missing, yeah.
and yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, I thought it was well done, and I mean, it just came out what a week ago, so good show.
Yeah, I haven't I saw it listed. I have not watched it.
I haven't
Uh,
even put it in my Plex.
yeah, I like I said, I saw it listed. I just have not watched it. A couple things. Stuart also says 1923. So if you're a Yellowstone fan, you'll like 1923. Yellowstone, definitely. The Gold, Eddie, I have not watched The Gold. Not watched that. Mandalorian, that's of course the third season of that is out. Mel Brooks' History of the World Part 2. I've seen that posted. I have not watched it.
I
I have
grabbed
seen
it, but I didn't check anything out. Just skim through it.
yeah.
It's just supposed to be like a sketch comedy type thing.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'll definitely check that out. Redneck Mandalorian. If you like Mandalorian season 2, you'll probably like season 3. I've seen 2 episodes of season 3. I don't know. It's about the same to me. It's again, people Blue likes it. Blue enjoys it.
That's
Uh,
not my thing.
yeah. So if you haven't seen the original, make sure. Yeah, The Man Called Ove. Thank you, Beach. Last of Us. I am 100% caught up on it. I enjoy it, but it is that I don't want to say Walking Dead feel, but it is the end, the apocalyptic, but it's a little bit different spin on it. I enjoy that. Was it Pedro Pascal? He's in
Yeah,
that. He does a good job in this. So to me, I enjoy that. The Wolf Pack, I have seen that listed. I looked at that, but I felt like the Wolf Pack was geared to someone a little younger than me, maybe the teens to 20s. And Blue and I watched one episode, and she said, "No, that's not me."
no, it's a little boring to me,
Yeah,
but
it just felt what was that? What was that one with the wolves and the vampires? What was that series? That TV series? Um,
Teen Wolf?
no, the movie series. The movie
Mm,
series.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
No, the movie series that. Hey, babe, what was the one with the wolves and the vampires? The movies. Twilight. It kind of had
Oh,
that Twilight feel to me.
thought you meant TV.
I'm sorry, no movies. It had that Twilight feel to me. So we watched one episode, and then she said, "I don't think that's me."
The only reason that
Snowfall.
make me watch that show would be Buffy.
Yeah, you're looking for boobs. Snowfall. I have watched episode of that of this season. I like that. That is a Sopranos type TV show. If you've not watched Snowfall before, it is that Soprano-ish feel, but not with Italians. Some people in LA in the 80s. So it's a gangsterish, great movie. Harder They Fall. I have not watched that, Shelley. I've not seen that. BMF. What is BMF? I've seen people talk about BMF. Do you?
It's Black Mafia Family.
I have not watched that. Where's
That's good.
What is it?
Yeah, it's gangster, but it's
Okay.
good.
All right.
Another good one is
Yep.
Accused, the TV series.
Accused.
My wife and I watched that. And you said you liked Knock on the Cabin Door.
Knock on the Cabin Door. Let's see. I had that. Again, I enjoyed Knock in the Woods.
Knock
Cabin.
in the Woods. Or,
No, it was Knock in the Woods. I got the wrong one here.
it's Knock at the Cabin.
Knock at the Cabin. I typed in the wrong thing. Knock on the Cabin. To me, M Night Shyamalan Ding Dong directed this one. It's not a scary movie. It's a little bit of a thriller, but also kind of like one of those movies you're like, what? But in the scheme of things, Blue and I would give this like a 7.5. So it wasn't a horrible movie. Definitely not a scary movie. It's nothing that's going to win no Academy Awards. But if you like a thriller, a little bit something different, it definitely was. It checked a lot of those boxes for me. The new Chris Rock. Have either one of you two seen the new Chris Rock? The new live.
I
stand-up.
did.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So,
he rips the shit out of Will Smith.
but it's at the end. It's not just about that, right?
No, it's not. I enjoyed it.
I just read something about that Netflix went and corrected one of his jokes in there.
Yes, because there was
He
where
messed the joke up.
Yeah, he did. He did. He did mess the joke up where he talks about a concussion, but then he was talking about the movie and this ain't it. This ain't it.
He started off with it and then ended with it with
Yeah.
the whole Will Smith thing.
Yeah, but to me, it was pretty funny.
I thought it was good.
I thought. I mean, there was times where I was truly laughing out loud. I mean, there was times when he was telling some jokes. Some of those jokes, I was seriously laughing out loud, and
It's
me and Blue were
selective
watching.
outrage, Dabs.
Selective outrage. There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sounds like my life.
How about select? How about if I just back out and just? I'm in Wikipedia. That's my problem. There's my problem. Look at there. It's going to see if I can. I'm just trying to see if I can spell. All right. So yeah, here it is. Yeah, selective outrage. Yeah, and I did read today that they did edit that last joke.
Yeah.
That last little bit where he misspoke because he was talking about concussion, and so yeah, he misspoke, but then he kind of like, "Whoop, I messed that joke up," and it's kind of funny. So
But that's funny if they would have left that in.
yeah, Yeah, but it was funny to me through most. I mean, I definitely put your thick skin on to
Yeah,
watch that.
you have to.
Again, but and again, I don't know. Me and Blue were talking about this. So Blue is a bit more,
Politically correct.
yeah, than I am. That's a good way of putting it. So when we're watching that, and when she says, I think people need to be little less sensitive about comedy. Am I okay, babe? Okay. All right. She's over here listening. Um,
She's got a
so
ruler waiting.
yeah, she's like, "Are you saying the right things?" So when she says people sometimes can be a little too oversensitive when we're talking a comedy stand-up. Now you can follow a stand-up comedy, a comedy guy or woman or not. That's up to you. They say jokes that you like or don't like. Uh, you're going to be able to support that person by if you watch or buy their content. Uh, to me, that's the fair market. That's fair market society. You're going to decide by your money. I think sometimes we overcorrect by, well, we don't want everybody saying that. Well, that's part of comedy. You either, if it's too far, if someone's too far way off, guess what? People are going to be like, you're talking about things I don't even want to hear about. And so you're going to, the fair market is going to dictate them being able to market themselves. So that was one of the things when we were watching it. And Blue says, "Yeah, some people are going to be bothered by this," and I'm like, "Well, isn't that what comedians are supposed to do? They take a
What
look at
it's
what
supposed
we're
to be about.
freaking
Yeah.
doing. They look at what you're doing and what society is happening, and they make fun of it. And the only reason it's funny is because it's real. When we made fun of some of the COVID shit, it was only funny because when you look at it, you're like, I remember that. That was freaking
Yeah.
funny.
It's funny
Um,
because it's true,
right.
as the saying
Be-
goes.
right. It's only funny. So when he says stuff and you find it funny. So to me, I mean, you don't want someone to say something that's just completely hateful. But in a way, if they're saying it's completely hateful stuff, guess what? Nobody's going to buy the crap. So, yeah. And even Blue, like I said, Blue's a little more politically correct than me. And she was like, sometimes I think people get a little too
Yeah.
far oversensitive. And I'm like, that's what I've been saying. And even though I think I'm more in the center, but everybody thinks they're in the center. But
Feelings rule the day nowadays.
yeah, sometimes so. But I found it funny. I don't know about you. What about you too?
I
Did
thought
you?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, I there was times I was out loud laughing.
Me too. My wife too.
Yeah, so definitely worth a watch. Let's see. Shrinking. Yep, I've been watching a little bit of that. Not a bad show. I've been working on it. It's not a. I give it a. I'm still watching it. Luther. I haven't watched. I have not watched it now. I know. I know Eddie used to like Luther.
Eddie likes anything UK.
Yeah, he does. Godfather of Harlem is new season's out. Mayor Kingstown is out. I haven't watched either one of not this season. I've watched previous seasons. I've not caught up on this season. Poker Face. Either one of you two watch Poker Face? I know that seems to be on the damn trending list. It's up there in the top of the trending constantly.
I did see Poker Face, but I don't think it was a TV version.
Oh no. No,
Yeah.
Someone had to
I
say
haven't
it.
watched any of that.
What's that on me? Okay. Poker Face.
Poker
Okay.
Face and Poker Face 2.
And again and again. All right, so Wu Tang. Wu Tang, I have not watched that. I know Albin sent me a thing on Plex, and I don't have another beer to drink. Because with Plex you can send and say, hey, you need to watch this. So the Wu Tang is out. I'm sorry, I'm skimming through some of that.
Guys, I gotta run.
Yeah. All right. See, man, I'm getting ready to close up. So
All
thanks for
right.
hanging out with me.
Hey, enjoyed it as always. Mark, good to see you, brother.
Yeah, it'd be better to see you in golf, but
Well, shit,
bad
I'm
as
trying to
me.
get everything settled after this fucking tornado.
I
Yeah.
know, I'm messing with you.
Yeah.
I
Well,
know.
and see, man, he had to deal with some of the tornado stuff. So, yeah, the thoughts and prayers out to you, man, about to have to deal with it. And yeah, upside downtown was. I was going to mention this before we left. Is upside downtown is on Walkabout Golf, and it is
Pain in the ass.
crazy,
All right, I'm
crazy.
gonna jump out on that one.
All
See
right,
you
bud.
guys.
All
All
right,
Take
right,
see you,
see you
care.
man.
later, man.
All right, y'all be good.
All right. Yeah, because we're getting close to the end. Yeah, anybody that's played our walkabout, this was the newest course that came out this week, Upside Downtown, which it it
Different.
changes gravity. Things are upside down, and Mark, anything other than it sucks, Mark? What would be a
I mean,
constructive?
I like some of the ideas and stuff, but you're exchanging the kind of like looking down and crunching down a little bit
Yeah,
for, ratcheting your neck up. And that's just what gets me. It's like I don't like sitting there going,
yeah.
then feeling like, can I get it? Like you're trying to scrape something off the ceiling. It's kind of
Yeah.
a weird thing. But I do
Yeah.
like some of the ideas that they have with it. Yeah.
Well, the idea is gravity is not one way. So you'll see some of the colored things where the gravity changes when it hits. So you could be, let's see, like this area here. You start off here, you hit the ball to this orange. Orange pushes the gravity. Now, this part here becomes where gravity is. And then you have to go to the pin here. So there's a lot of almost like a puzzle. It's a puzzle in having to think about how do I hit it where gravity's going to change it to make it do it. So I enjoy it in a puzzle type way.
Yeah.
And it yes, you're not always putting looking down at the floor. Sometimes you're putting at a 90-degree angle straight in front of you. Sometimes you're putting above your head because the floor is above your head, not at your feet.
Yeah.
So that
Pretty goofy.
that changes your mechanics, the way you hit. Because normally you're looking down, you've got your golf position, and you smack it. This your golfing position changes constantly, and then when you are golfing with it being in the traditional looking at the floor, putting in a normal way, it's almost foreign because you've been putting all those other ways, so that
Yep.
when you do putt normal, you can't make an easy shot. So
That's how beach was yesterday.
yeah,
It was
it,
hilarious.
it is the craziest. So news download content if you have an Oculus in mini golf, this is fun. I mean, it's not for a new person to learn on because it's completely different than any other course, but it's fun, it's crazy. You're not going to be a great player at this one because it's so awkward, but I
Yep.
enjoyed playing it, so it was a
Well,
fun
Beach
one.
was saying that would course would make Auburn's head explode.
Yeah, 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 it's a weird one. Yeah, when you're, because like I said, normally you're looking down, putting like this.
Well, for me,
Sometimes
it'd
you're
be a
doing
lot more
this,
fun playing at
sometimes you're doing
home
this.
because at home I can swear more.
Well, yeah, yeah, you can.
I don't think
Yeah,
the old man wants to hear me using every swear word in the book.
yeah, it's a crazy one. Yeah, but again, that's our Octials talk. I didn't even look up what was there any sports on, so I'll give Beach a
Ah,
second, and I'm gonna look it up.
I don't know anything
Uh,
about that.
yeah, I know you don't, so I gotta look to Beach because I didn't. I meant to look at before the show kicked. I know there's no UFC.
Beach, why don't you comment? Let us know.
Let me see here for a second. Where's the search? Where's my search feature on this damn thing?
Well, you know, there's some
There we
sort
go.
of
There we
wrestling.
go.
There's some sort of UFC. World Basketball Classic or Baseball Classic.
Yeah. Well, there's NCAA is just finishing up all your conference play finishes this weekend, and then we'll get into March Madness next week, which Dabs will be watching intently. So if you're a college basketball fan, this is a great weekend, and next week even gets better. I'm trying to grab.
Well, Beach says nothing special that he's seen.
Yeah. Tomorrow UFC starts at 6 p.m. Yeah, nobody real big in that one. Another one of the Russians.
Well, UFC is like every weekend nowadays.
Yeah, but this is like an undercard one kind of thing. So a little bit of UFC tomorrow starts 6 p.m. ESPN. That's the main card. So the early prelims would be like 4-ish, something like that. So that will be on tomorrow. Bellator is on tonight. Look at Albin's probably he's probably screaming at the damn TV right now.
Yep.
So we got Bellator tonight. So that kicks off in about 10 minutes. So you want to get to watching that. Prelims kick off so that's something to watch tonight. And that's what I see. So again, to take a look at some of that content. Let me pull myself over here. So take a look at that next Friday, St. Patrick's Day. Yeah. Stuart says W SmackDown, Rampage, Game Changer Wrestling. So no, I don't think any big pay-per-views. World
Well,
Baseball.
wrestling is every day.
Yeah, wrestling's on all the time. That's a pretty, and those are the ones he posted here. I think are just your regular events. So that's not any pay-per-views or anything. So if you had to choose, I would say watch. Excuse me. I would say watch NCAA basketball this weekend, and then get ready for March Madness start next weekend or next week. So it starts Wednesday, I think it kicks off.
Yay.
I know Mark will be watching all of them. All right, Mark, anything you want to say before we go?
Nah. I'm too tired.
Nah,
Should have left work an hour ago.
get out of here. Hey, Adrian in the house. What's up? I haven't seen. I mean, Aldrin. Sorry, I always say that wrong. Aldrin. I ain't seen him. How you doing? He needs to join us in on Telegram. I don't see him very often. Aldrin, nice to see you. All right, so that's all we got going on today. Thoughts and prayers back out to my man Albin. Hopefully, he gets to be feeling better. Take a look at basketball this weekend. We'll see you guys next week, and check out some of the stuff we talked about. And if you need us, look in the links below. You can find us on Telegram groups, and we'll try to help you there because it's easier than helping you in other ways. So streaming matters to us because streaming matters to you. See y'all.